Superheavy Samurai is here, and let's go over what this deck can do in Master Duel. So this is my list I'm going for. It might be a little different from what you see other people do. There's a certain cards in here like Tunneler and Box, which are part of very standard combos people like to do that give you follow-up. But I think if you make this type of FTK, you kind of don't need the follow-up. Very hot take. I think most people, especially in best of one, will just scoop once you like fully resolve the thing. And by not playing all of those bricks, you notice like there's not that many bad draws compared to a lot of other kind of more greedy super heavy decks. Also, if you have all those bad draws in your hand and then you get stopped by Droll or Maxi and you don't have the answer for it, now your odds of surviving another turn are even lower. So for that reason, I'm kind of going for a more lean version of the deck, but I definitely understand there's like a lot of other things you can do. So for the list, we have first of all Driver, because we are playing the Cypher gear. We have Triple Veiler. I mean, we're just playing hand traps, you know? If you think that the format is going to be different to where maybe you need DD Grow in here instead, if format calls for it, that's fine too. Any line of hand traps you have and think is correct right now, go ahead. Triple Droll. Droll is going to be crazy, I think. If Super Heavy Samurai and Vanadium are the top decks, and like, apart from Max C, I don't see how they couldn't be. Droll is going to be crazy. Now, if we see the meta change, if people aren't on Super Heavy or Vanadium, okay, then we reduce our Drolls. Then Triple Soul Peacemaker. Now, this, I think, might be different from what a lot of people will do. A lot of people will probably play only one of this, but I want to play 3 of this because I want to play 2 Droll. Again, if Vanadium and Super Heavy are the decks, and then they are the most targeted, everyone will be on Droll, and I would much rather than have Triple Soul Peacemaker. Then we have 1 Stealthy Boy. We have Triple Maxi because Maxi is broken. We have 2 Gamma. Gamma is crazy in this deck, especially when paired with Lambda. Now, I do see a lot of people in comment sections going, oh, Maxi and Droll doesn't matter that much because you can just Gamma them. It's like, people will wait with their Maxi or their Droll until you've summoned the monster. And I understand they become lower impact at that point, but I think like waiting is still going to be correct. Actually, if people aren't waiting, we might be able to play like Ogre as well, because this way, even if they like, if we Ogre on Wakaushi and then Gamma there, and then we Droll on the ad afterwards, that is like even more higher impact. So that even plays through the Gamma. So there might actually be an argument for Triple Ogre. Who knows? Then, so we have our Gamma, of course. This is even better in this deck because we are playing Axel Synchron and Baron. So like we get stopped, we make our Axel Synchron out of Gamma Driver, and then we make a Baron, and then the rest of our combo goes through while we already have the Baron. Then we have Triple Bike, of course. Really awesome to bait out Drolls as well, because then we do have the Gamma. Like, if people let us Bike and then Wakaushi and then everything waiting for a monster, that's gonna be like crazy. Then Triple Ash, of course. We ourselves, you know, we cannot play spells because the best super heavy starters require you to not have spells. There are some people teching in super heavy samurai cards in other decks where they do run spells because they just start with super heavy stuff, and if that resolves, then they start using their spells, but I think that's a little greedy. I don't think that's necessary. 1 Mourner, again, it's just like generic good hand traps. My issue with putting in Ogre here is that if we see stuff like Branded still be good, that Ogre is just gonna suck ass. Like, Ogre is only gonna be good on Cartesia, whereas this will be a little bit more generically useful. I don't know though. It'll depend on the meta if we start playing Ogre. For now, the 1 Mourner for the final slot. You could also play Nib, because quite some people will do greedy combos with both Super Heavy and Vanadium, so that Nib becomes really good, especially since we have so many other hand traps. So like, we might bait a certain negate and then just nib them for their life savings, which might make Triple Nib correct. Also, if we get Drolled or Max Seed, the chance that they OTK us under Nib is very, very unlikely. So like, Triple Nib might actually be like the move. Honestly, I'm gonna change that right now. I want Triple Nib now. I have just convinced myself that Triple Nib is actually better. Then we have our Scales. These are just some of like the weaker draws that you kind of still want to have access to your combo. We have Triple Soul Piercer. We have Triple Wagon. This deck, by the way, is full of 1 card starters and 1.5 card starters. Like, a bunch of these cards together still make weird combos. Not gonna go over that in this video because like, there are so many variations. There are also a lot of TCG videos already on YouTube explaining all of those. Sorry for that. We'll probably make some gameplay after this, but making like a spreadsheet when that's already up there for TCG is kind of like whatever. We have a Soul Gaia booster right here, and then we have Regulus. So Regulus, if you don't know, this is the the Omni Negate from Therion. And we can actually search this in engine because Merrymaker leads to our boy Sargas. And then of course, since this entire tech is machines, you don't need other Therions. Regulus will just choose a machine, attach it, boom, you have another Omni. So your end boards are usually going to have like Baron and Regulus as Omni Negates, Dispater as another interrupt. And then the combo that I'm going for in this particular build is with Omega. So what you will do is you will do Omega, rip a card from their hand by banishing Omega, and then your Dispater will actually summon back the Omega, and then you rip another card out of their hand. So your end board, like the most tiny ass combo imaginable, is hand rip 2 with 2 negates. So that's already 4 from their cards, and then that assumes that you opened no other extenders, meaning every other card in your hand is a hand trap, and then you also actually have Gamma Lambda access in there. So like, what are they gonna do? There is no hand combination that breaks that board, and you don't have to play like bricks like Box and Tunneler. Those are good though, like there is definitely reasons for creating that follow-up. So then we have the one Kaiju, because you can search that in engine, because Cliff or Genius right here can actually just add it. So depending on how the rest of the combo goes, you can just go add this, and if they for some reason can do anything, then you have access to this. Also, when going second into boards, just randomly being able to like link into this and then find the Kaiju. Then we have triple Nib, like I just explained earlier, both Vanadium and Super Heavy are gonna get nuked by Nib if you combine it with another hand trap, and if you don't combine it with another hand trap, they will sometimes still do very greedy lines that get fucked by Nib. Then we have triple Super Heavy Samurai Prodigy Wakaushi. This is the reason the whole deck works. This is the best starter in the game. Again, there's like a bunch of cards throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history that by themselves create insane combos. It just depends on how many bricks you want to play. So you have Tour Guide, which can be that. You have Emergency Teleport, which can be that. You have Fenrir, which can be that. I saw someone in the comments say that Fenrir you can't. Watch out. You can special summon Fenrir, search Rice Heart, normal summon Rice Heart. You're not locked into Xyz. Use its effect, make it level 7, overlay Arsenal Falcon, get Sephiroth, Romulus, Ravine. Boom. You have every combo in the game. So yeah, Tour Guide, Fenrir, Emergency Teleport, and now also Wakaushi. Whenever you see any type of cope pile in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's usually going to be one of these as starters because they can do anything. And from there, you know, how many bricks do you want to play to make your cope work? Here in Super Heavy Samurai, as long as we have Scarecrow and all these other cards, the answer is almost 0. We are barely playing any bricks, and we have just the most unfair bullshit imaginable, only losing to Maxi in my opinion. And then we have double Benkei. Now I know some people want to play one Benkei because it is kind of like just a brick. It's like a really, really bad draw, but I do not want to auto lose to like drawing this. I just don't want to. So for that reason too, it's fine if we have like, you know, again, I'm not playing Tunneler, I'm not playing Box. I can live with one more brick. Now for the extra deck, Omega. Like I said, we are hand looping in this basic combo, and so you have to have this. This boy, this is like spell and trap removal. You can't really run that. Like if you wanted to have spell and trap removal, you could play like this pendulum thing that you can just place as a spell and trap because it's a pendulum card, but it's still a monster in the graveyard, you know, and that way remove. But we don't have a side deck, so we can't really play that. Then we have Borreload Savage. This is another Omni Negate that we can make in the deck depending on which extenders we draw. We have Axel Synchro, which can lead you to Baron, Dispater, and so forth. So we have Baron, again an Omni Negate, also very good with Axel Synchro, the Gamma Driver. Then we have Dispater, part of the Omega Loop combo, and then we have the big boy, the brave boy right here. The bigger boards that some people in Master Duel videos have been doing is adding this to the board, and then you have like once per turn, if your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect, you can draw it until you have 3. So if you went through your entire hand and then you don't have Tunneler and Box kind of setup, this gives you follow-up. Kind of whatever though. Then we have Bagushka. So whenever we get, you know, completely nuked by hand traps, we usually have 2 level 4s, make Bagushka, and if that gives us a turn, cool, now we can actually still win. Then we have the Merrymaker. This is just to get us access to Regulus, like Merrymaker into Sargas. Sargas gets us Regulus. Zeus, because this deck does make rank 4s pretty easily, and then we can just try and wipe a board that way. Scarecrow, this is part of your 1-card combos and so forth. Glyph or Genius, again, can search your shit. And then we have Lambda, so this is really easy to put on your boards as well, and that then turns your Gamma live if you were already able to combo. Again, I'm gonna try to make some gameplay after this video, but this is quite a technical deck. Like making one combo guide would be pointless. You really want to watch as many as you can because this deck can make anything. Like depending on which bricks you want to put in here, Super Heavy Samurai can make every single combo in the game. So that is all for today. Hope you found this interesting. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.